Hey guys, welcome back to another watch video. Today I'm going to show you how to resize a watch band. Now in order to do this, it does require some equipment that you can buy from multiple sources such as Amazon or eBay. So a couple examples of what you're going to need. At the very basics, you're going to need a watch tool, a watch resizing tool. And they do come in different form factors, but this is the one that I like. And in the caption below the video, I'll have a link to where you can buy some of these tools. All right, now a few other things that you can sometimes use, although it won't be necessary for this video, is going to be a resizing tool that you can use for leather or silicone watch bands. This is basically a spring tool, a spring bar tool, I should say. And then sometimes to pull out the little rods inside the watch band, you can use some tweezers and then a mallet. As you can see, one side is a little bit softer and the one side is made of metal. And obviously when you're working on your watch, you got to be very careful because you don't want to scratch it. Here we have a nice soft working space here. I'm just using this little watch case that I got with my Redwood watch. And this is the watch that we're going to be resizing today. You may recognize this. This is the Seiko SGF206, and it is actually now unsized. I have added back all of the links that I removed in order to size it so that you can see how to resize a watch. So this watch is too big. This is how it came from the manufacturer. The watch band is too large for my 7-inch wrist. So if we put it on, you can see that this is how you get a lot of watches from the store. The watch has too many links in the band and it hangs so that way it's not fitting comfortably. It can shift, it can even go all the way to the opposite side, the wrong side of the wrist. So it's going to require resizing, which means that we're going to be removing some links from the band. Now, as you're doing this, it's important to consider how many links do you want to remove. That's going to depend on your wrist size. So just as a rough estimate, you can try to hold the clasp towards your wrist and see if you can get a firm fit, or rather a good comfortable fit, by simply holding some of the links to the side. And it does require a little bit of trial and error, but this looks like it's going to require at least roughly 1 to 3 links, maybe more. The other thing is that when I added the links back to the watch band, I actually added them all on one side, so it's easier for me for demonstrating in the video, but the reality is that most likely when you resize a watch band, you're going to be removing some links from one side and from the other side of the clasp, so that way when you resize it, the clasp will be roughly around the middle of your wrist. All right, so we've made a decision to remove 3 links from the band, and so now we're going to take the watch off of the wrist and we're going to begin. So we have decided to remove 3 links from one side of the clasp. And as you can see, on one side you have these, you can see the little rod that fits inside each link and holds it together, holds the band together, holds the links together. One side has a little line, it's scored, and one side does not have a line. So that's an indication, or a clue rather, to you as to how you're going to remove it. You want the side that, basically you want to push in the rod on the side that does not have a line. Also, a lot of watches will give you a clue, and it'll have an arrow on the inside of the links that tells you that you want to be pushing the rod in the direction of the arrow. All right, so we're going to grab our watch resizing tool and we're going to get it ready. So we're going to be pulling out this. This is the actual little rod that's going to push out the rod. It's going to displace the rod from the watch band. So we want to pull it out to give enough space for that watch to fit inside. So we're pulling it out more than we need to. And then, again, we're pushing in on the side that does not have the line. And so, here we go, we got it. Basically, you want to line it up so that this little rod is going to push into that hole and push the rod. So we're going to go ahead and start bringing it closer and closer. You basically want to bring it as close as you can without touching the link. And then you're going to aim it and try your best to get it lined up as best you can. All right, now we're just advancing this rod. It's fitting inside as it should, and it's pushing that link. As you can see, that rod is coming out to the other end. All right, now that's as far as it's going to advance on this side, and that's okay because we've already displaced the rod far enough to be able to pull it out of this end. Now we're going to bring this back. All right, so now the band is loose, and we're going to set this aside for a second, although we'll need it in a little bit. And now sometimes you have to use the tweezers to pull out this rod, but it looks like it's going to come out easily. All right, there we go. So we set this over here. You don't want to lose these. These are useful. But as you can see, the bracelet comes apart. And again, this actually has not removed any links from the bracelet. It has simply detached the bracelet. So that way you can work on removing as many links as you like. In this case, we decided on removing 3 links. So again, 1, 2, 3. We're going to do the same thing again to remove the rod from that space. Okay, we're going to try our best to line it up, and then we're going to advance the rod. We're going to get it right in the space that it needs to be in, and then we're going to go ahead and start pushing the rod out from the other end. Okay, that's as far as it will advance using the tool. Now we're going to set the tool to the side, and we're going to pull out that rod. Okay, now we have officially removed 2 links. Oops, we got 2 links, and that's okay. Sometimes it's okay to remove fewer links. Then you can reattach the watch and see if that's as many links as you want to remove, but we're going to actually remove 3, so we actually want to take the next one out as well. And there, we want to get it into the next link. Okay. There we go. So that is now 3 links removed. So now we need to bring the bracelet back together again. And in order to do that, we want to line it up. And now remember, some of these links can actually fold over. As you can see, the middle link, we don't want this inside surface to be facing out because it's not nice and polished like the other one. So, all right, we get that all lined up. Fit it together as best we can. It has to line up nicely so that that rod is going to go through easily. Okay. I'm going to grab one of these rods, and it's going to go in. Okay, all right. So now we have the rod in, but of course we have to secure it now. As you can see, the rod is still sticking out. The rod is holding the links together. Now, this is the part you got to be careful about because we need to get this flush by using our hammer. We're going to be very gentle. We're using the side that is not as hard, and we're just going to tap it in. And there we go. Now, as you can see, it's fairly flush, but it's not quite inside the link. And just to be on the safe side, you do want to push it in a little bit so that way it's not likely to just fall out, which would cause the bracelet to come apart and cause the watch to fall off of your wrist. So again, we're using the watch resizing tool to push this rod in a little bit deeper. As you can see, we're just trying to line it up. Doesn't take much. This has to be a little bit inside. And that looks good. And if you ever accidentally push it in too far, it's not a big deal. You can simply push it in from this side. All right, so as you can see now, it looks nice and flush. We have resized the bracelet, and of course, to know if it's the right size, you simply put it on and give it a try. And that looks much better. As you can see, it doesn't have a lot of bracelet hanging off. As a general rule of thumb, you want to be able to slip one finger between the bracelet and your wrist, and that shows that it's actually a nice snug fit. And as you can see, we're trying to have it so that the clasp is roughly halfway across the wrist. It just looks more aesthetically pleasing. Obviously, you could put it anywhere. It also makes it a little bit more comfortable because this clasp is one big piece, and you want it to fit nice and comfortable with the curve of your hand. All right, guys, if you have any questions, please let me know. There are a little bit of variations on how to resize a watch bracelet, but definitely shoot me a question in the comments below. Please subscribe to my channel for more watch videos, and if you like this video, hit the like button. You guys have a wonderful day.